Today we're going to be making a door that can be opened through a button, a key, and can be unlocked from the other side. The first thing we're going to want to do is set up the game instance, because we're going to be storing our keys inside of the game instance so that if a level load occurs, the player still has a key in their inventory. Right click, go to Blueprint Class, select all classes, in the search type game instance. We're going to click just this thing that says game instance. Name it GI_game instance. Save it. Go to Edit, Project Settings, and go to Maps and Modes. Under Game Instance, we want to click Game Instance, and we want to select GI Game Instance that we just created in the dropdown. Inside of GI Game Instance, we're going to make a variable. Let's call this keys. Change this from a boolean to a string, and change it from a single to an array. Compile, save, and close. The next thing we want to do after making the game instance is we want to right click and search for interface. Blueprint interface. Call it BPI_interact. Save it, double click. We're going to call this new function here interact. And we're going to put an input. The input is going to be called component. And the type is going to be navigate to your first person blueprint, your BP first person character. In here we're going to go to class settings, and we're going to go under details to interfaces, implemented interfaces, and we're going to add the interact interface that we just created. The next thing we're going to want to do is find input, go to actions, right click, type input action, name it IA_interact. We're going to open this, we're going to add two triggers, pressed and released. Save it, exit out, go to your content drawer, go to input, double click IMC_default, go under default key mappings, click the plus. In this drop down we want to select IA interact. Click this keyboard icon and hit E. We're going to use E to interact. If you want to use F, you can click the keyboard icon and click F, but I'm going to use E. Save it, exit out of that. Inside of BP first person character, we're going to set up the interact function. Search for IA interact, enhanced action events, IA interact. We're going to do this drop down arrow so that we can see started, and on started, we're going to line trace by channel. Drag in your first person camera. Get the world location. Get the forward vector. The start line trace is going to go, get world location is going to go into start line trace. Get forward vector. We're going to multiply this by a float. Right click the B input to float. We're going to do 500. Drag out from world location, type add. We're going to add these together and put it into end. Draw debug type, for now, set to for duration. Compile and save. We're going to click play to make sure that we can see the line trace. And it looks like it is set up correctly. We're going to create a new blueprint class. We're going to create an actor. We're going to call it BP_key. Double click this. We're going to add a static mesh so that we can see what it is. That's going to be a key. In the event graph, let's go ahead and delete this so that we have a clean work area. Go to class settings, go to implemented interfaces, and we're going to search for our interact interface. Now we can see it under interfaces on the left. Double click interact so that we have event interact. drag out, we're going to cast to the game instance. So cast to GI game instance. For this object pen, we want to get game instance. Drag out from as GI game instance, target keys. We're going to get keys. Drag this over here. We're going to drag out this array and we're going to add unique. Connect that exec pin, add a new variable, name it key name. This is going to be a typed string. Compile, check instance editable, and expose on spawn. Now we're going to play a sound. You can play a sound here so that the player knows that they picked up the key, and then we're going to destroy the actor. So play sound 2D. I'm not going to have a sound because I didn't import my sound effects. And we're going to destroy the actor. Oh, make sure you plug key name into this empty square right here. Compile and save. What this will do whenever we interact with the key, it's going to add the key name to our array of keys from the game instance. It's going to play a sound, and then it's going to destroy itself. Compile and save. Let's go ahead and drag this into the level. BP underscore key. It's a little hard. It doesn't seem to be working. It's not working because we didn't finish our interact. Take out hit, type break, hit result, go down, hit B, hold B and click to create a branch. We're going to say, is it a blocking hit? If that's true, we're going to go into another branch. We're going to pull out hit actor, and we're going to say implements interface. Does object implement interface? Interface is going to be our interact interface. Plug that into the branch. Drag out hit actor and type interact. It's going to be interact message. Make sure it's this one. Interact message. True. Target is here. The component, you can leave that blank. Compile and save. Let's see if the key works now. Where's that key? It's awfully small. Oh, I deleted it. Yes, it works. We can see that the actor was destroyed. If you want to make it easier to pick up the key, we can go here. We can add a sphere collision. Click your sphere, go to collision, go to collision presets, select custom, and we want to block visibility. Compile and save. The reason we're blocking visibility is because this trace channel is set to visibility. Compile and save that. This will now block any trace set to visibility. So you can see we don't have to be dead on accurate to pick up the key. Next, we're going to make the door. Right click, blueprint class, actor, BP underscore door. Double click that to open it. We're going to add our static mesh. Our static mesh is going to be our door mesh. Cube door bars is what I'm using. Compile that. Go to the event graph. Delete this. Go to class settings. Go to implemented interfaces. Go to interact. BPI interact. Double click this so that we can have the event interact here. We're going to create some variables. Is open. Is locked. So, whenever we interact, we're going to ask first, is it open? False. It is not open. We're going to do another branch. Is it locked? False. We're going to open the door. How do we open the door? Right click, add a custom event, name it open. Now we're going to set is open to true and is locked to false. Now we're going to right click, we're going to add a timeline. So type add timeline, play from start, double click the timeline. Set the length to a value like 1 if you want it to take 1 second to open the door. Otherwise, it can take 3 seconds or however long. Click track, add a float track. We're going to name this alpha. Right click to add a key, right click to add another key. For the first key, we're going to put in the time and value to 0, 0. For the second key, we're going to put time and value to 1 and 1. For the second key, you want the time to equal the length of your track. We're going to create one more variable. We're going to call it open float. Of type float. We will experiment with this value in a moment. Right click, type lerp. Drag alpha into alpha. A is going to be 0 and B is going to be our open float. Let's set this to a value of negative 100. Now we're going to drag in our static mesh. We're going to drag out the pin. We're going to set the relative location. Make sure update goes into set relative location. Right click new location, select split. We're going to change only the Z location. Over 1 second, the float of the Z will go from whatever it is currently to negative 100 units lower. Go ahead and compile that. We're not quite done yet. Is locked, false. We're going to open. Select your is locked variable, instance editable, and expose on spawn. Compile and save. Now when we interact with it, right now, it goes down and doesn't quite go as far down as we want. So let's set another value in here, maybe negative 220. Compile and save. And we'll check that. Okay, that's good. We can walk through it. We can walk over it. Click your static mesh. Click add. We're going to add a box collision. This is going to be called C inner. This is going to be the inside of the door. Now we're going to go back to the event graph. We're going to drag out component. And we're going to do equals equals and C inner. From true on is locked, create a branch. If we have interacted with the component C inner, we want to open the door. Go to BP door, go to C inner, go under collision. We're gonna click overlap all dynamic, set it to custom, and we're gonna block visibility. Compile and save. Inside of BP first person character, we need to drag out hit component and plug it into component. Compile and save. Now inside of BP door, we can get component equals equals C inner. Drag that into condition. On true, we're going to open the door. We can actually just do this, make it a little bit cleaner. Compile and save, and let's test that. It works. Only add this C inner collision if you want the player to be able to walk around the door and open it from the other side, the inside, the side that is most likely has the lock. It depends really on what kind of door you're doing and what kind of game you're making. We're going to create another variable. We're going to call it uses button. If this is false, we're going to check. If this is false, we're going to check yet another branch, uses button. Make sure uses button has expose on spawn and instance editable. In false, we're going to handle our key logic. We're going to cast to our GI game instance. Make sure to plug game instance into object. So get game instance, plug that into object. Create another variable here, and we're going to name it required key. Make it a string, click instance editable, and expose on spawn. So as GI game instance, we're going to get the keys, get keys. We're going to drag this out. We're going to say contains item, contains our required key. Booleans, if this is true, we're going to open. This means we have the key. It's in our game instance. It's in our inventory. The door will open. If false, we don't need to do anything, but we can print a statement. Select your door, Is it locked? Do you want your door to be locked? If yes, click is locked. Use this button. We haven't set that up yet. We'll leave that as false. The required key. Name it what you're going to name your key. For example, entrance. Drag your key into the level, BP key. Click that. Key name should be entrance. Now when we play, we can see the door doesn't open because we have no key. It prints at the top left, no key. Now if we pick up the key, it opens the door. Now we're going to create the button. Right click, create a blueprint class, actor, name it BP button. We're going to add these as static meshes. Go to class settings, go to implemented interfaces, and make sure BPI underscore interact is selected. Compile and save this. Go to the event graph. Under event dispatchers, we're going to create a new event dispatcher. We're going to name it on button clicked. Now double click interact. Whenever we interact, we're going to call on button clicked. Drag in on button clicked. Click call. Drag that in. Now compile and save. Create an event begin play in your BP underscore door. Create a new variable. Call it button reference. The type should be BP underscore button. Object reference. Click the eyeball, click expose on spawn, and compile. Button reference, drag that in, get the button reference. We're going to ask, is it valid? If is valid is true, we're going to drag out our button reference and we're going to bind event to on button clicked. Is valid, the event is going to be a custom event called button open. And this is just going to be use our open function. Drag this red here, connect that, compile, save. And now we need to drag in our BP underscore button. Click the door, make sure is locked is true, use this button as true. Button reference, click this eyedropper tool, and then click the BP underscore button in the level. Now click play. Now whenever we click this button, it will open the door. You can see if you click the button again, it doesn't know that the door is already open and it's going to keep playing the animation. So go into your BP button and we're going to create a variable is pressed. On event interact, drag in a branch, is pressed, drag in your is pressed boolean. If it's false, call on button clicked. We forgot to set the variable here to true. Now whenever you click it multiple times, it won't reset. What if you want the door to open and close whenever you press the button? We're going to want a close function. So I'm going to go open, custom event, add a custom event, close. This is if we ever want to close the door. We're going to set is open to false, and then we're going to drag this into reverse from end. Compile and save. By button open, we're going to put a flip-flop node. Flip-flop from A to open and B to close. Compile and save. Because we want to be able to press the button a second time, we want to remove this is pressed branch. Now we press the button once, it opens, press it again, it closes. But you can see if you spam press it, it goes crazy. We need to do another check. Inside of BP door, add a variable, call it is opening, make this a boolean. We're going to say open is opening. Actually, let's call it is moving. So it's more general. Is moving true. Close is moving true. Now under finished, once the animation is finished, we want to set is moving to false. So finished is moving false. Now before the flip-flop node, we need to check a branch. False is moving false, and then flip-flop. Compile and save. Now you can see if we spam the button, it's not going to go crazy. Under close, we're just going to lock the door again. Is locked true. Compile and save. Now if we interact with the door, we can't open it, press the button. We can't close it, press the button again. We can't open it. Now we have a door that only opens if you use a button and can close again. We have a door that doesn't need to be locked at all. And then we have a door that takes a key. All in the same blueprint. If you want to change anything, select your BP door. If you want it to be locked, click locked. If you wanted to use a button, no we don't. Required key, make sure you remember exactly what you type here so that you can type it in the key itself whenever you drag it in.